We've got author Gabrielle St. George with us today. And first off, Gabrielle, it's a privilege to have the chance to visit with you. Glad we got it together this time.
Yeah, Cameron, thank you so much for having me on. I'm thrilled. And yeah, fingers crossed we get through the whole interview this time without my weather or whatever it was interfering. I think it was my fault.
Well, we can be equally at fault. How about that?
Yeah, I'm in the Great White North here, so you never know what goes on outside.
Now, when we originally had this, was pre-released. Now that the book is out there and about, what's it like getting the feedback? How to Murder a Marriage. I just want to talk the feedback first, then we'll go into kind of the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, so it's just been out for 2 days, and it's just been insane. It's so good. Just like wonderful reviews and crazy levels of support. And yeah, I've been super chill about the whole thing. And I didn't know if I would be, but even the few weeks leading up to it, I was just really chill. I'd done my best with everything I could do. And it was just like out of my hands. And I was fine with that. And it's just been, I keep feeling surprised because it just is so lovely. And then I got emails today that were sent to my publicist that she forwarded to me of just like people in the States, American women who are just like, wow, this is really resonating with me. And I don't feel represented in books, and I love to read, and I do feel that with yours. So, I'm super pleased. Yeah, it's been beautiful.
Now, what was the original intent behind the book? How to Murder a Marriage, where this came from for you?
To get revenge on my ex-husband without winding up in jail, maybe, kind of, without winding up in court. I mean, I have loved mystery since I was reading Nancy Drew Under the Covers as a kid, and that just never went away. And I'm a screenwriter, and I worked pretty much mostly for shows like police shows, detective shows, things like that. And that's always been my jam. So I just never got around to like writing a book, which seemed like climbing Everest to me before I did it. But then I did it and I was like, wow, I can do this, because I like reading short, and I like screenplays because they don't take as long as a book. But right. I'm right now in the second draft of, or the first draft of the second book, which is due terrifyingly in 3 weeks. So I basically won't sleep for the next 3 weeks. And it's like, man, I'm climbing Everest all over again. And it is awful. And I hate it. So yeah, it's long. I don't love long.
What has been what was the biggest challenge on the first write? And what have you learned from that on the second write that you're doing now?
With a screenwriting background, it's all about outlining and structure and plotting. And, you start with, a treatment that can be a few pages to, more pages long, and it gets approved by 50 different people, and you get all their notes. And then you do an outline, and that gets approved in notes, and try to make everyone happy. And then every single scene is broken down into beats. So by the time you go to write, you really know where you're going. And if you kind of go, color outside of the lines, you have to explain yourself. And with the book, I did go at it, the first one, with a pretty decent outline, not scene by scene, but pretty good outline. And I just didn't stick to it. And it was such a shock to me. And it was really more like the characters who are probably the best part of the book, really to just kind of come to life and take over. And I was basically the stenographer, just like writing down what they told me to write down. And I didn't want to do that with book 2, because I'm just so much more comfortable having an outline. And so I had an outline, and it's going down the toilet too, which is like the characters are telling me what to do. And I'm like under the gun now with the deadlines. I'm like, okay, hurry up, tell me more. So it's just been that kind of experience. So with this book, second book, to answer your question, I think I'm letting it flow more, which is hard for me. But yeah, just trying to kind of go with it and be flexible from scene to scene and killer to killer and all that.
Now, did you ever have block while you were writing the first one?
I actually had a deadline and had to write the first one really fast. And I am a fast writer. This book I've had more blocks with, and I don't think it's the whole idea of the fear of a second book, that the first one is well received and then you're afraid you can't do it again. I have the same level of fear I have with the first one, that I can't write a book. But yeah, the blocks, I kind of don't allow myself blocks. I do allow myself to stare out the window for hours, but then I'll make myself stay up all night to make up for it. So if I'm blocked, like within that 24 hours, I have to get myself out of it.
Now, as you're writing, what do you find out about yourself each time that you write? Does the writing bring out things that you maybe didn't realize before?
So much more rage than I realized was inside. I am so creative with the scary shit. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay. Probably need to find a therapist.
That's awesome. Now, who were the folks that really inspired you to the idea of writing a book? Yeah, like you said, you've been doing screenwriting, and I know it's a totally different process. For those of us that aren't writers, it's all one, but I know there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, it's a different language. And I think more lifestyle dictated my desire to focus on novels. When I did most of my screenwriting was before I had my kids, and then still did it when they were young and then older, but it's really hard. Years ago, it was easier to do more freelance stuff. And now pretty much every show has like, a writer's room and a staff that does everything, aside from very little freelance. So you have to be where the shows are being shot. And I live on a farm, and I moved a few months away further out, a few hours out of Toronto. But even when I was in the city, I wasn't in the city. So just that commuting and super long hours, which I never minded. I love the industry. So 80-hour weeks were okay with me, but not when you have kids, like they can't remember who's my mom. So, it was more a lifestyle thing, because I can write a book from anywhere. My kids all live overseas now, and I'm going there in a couple of weeks for a few weeks, and I can work from anywhere, and it's ideal for me. And it's also screenwriting and novel writing is really like two different languages, like speaking English and speaking Mandarin, And also I found the industries, which are both super tough, but also I found the publishing community so supportive, which isn't really, it's a little more cutthroat, a little more sharky in the, film and television world, but and I'm sure that's out there. Maybe I've just been lucky with the book writing world, but man, the support and between authors, like promoting each other's work. It's like, no one's afraid that you're going to get their piece of the pie. It's like, there's infinite pies and lots to go around. And that's been really refreshing and beautiful. And I've really enjoyed that.
What's the biggest difference you see from the readers as opposed to viewers? What's the biggest difference you see from feedback?
Well, it's funny because I actually have, like, happily, surprisingly, I have been approached already by a couple of production companies in LA for possible optioning the book for series. So that's really fun. I had a few meetings, and I think in the readers of the book are loving that the main character is a woman turning 50 and a newly empty nester, and newly divorced, and new solo life, and reinventing herself and relaunching. And that's what was super fun. And weirdly, it's not really out there, not in a mystery series. Like that character just doesn't exist. So I wish there would be more, and I hope more female writers write them, but it seems to be a novelty, and that's been the response to that's been amazing. But the flip side, in the meetings with the television production companies, the first thing they're saying is, we love your character. We love your character. We're going to make her younger, though. It's like, no. So I would say that there haven't been that many readers yet. It's only been out 2 days. And there have been no viewers because of my stuff, because it hasn't happened yet. But it seems that if the production people are correct, that would be the difference. The viewers would want a younger cast and star. And the book readers are loving that she's a middle-aged woman and vibrant and vivacious and courageous and out in the world and doing cool stuff.
That's cool. And again, the book, How to Murder a Marriage, the Ex-Whisperer Files, #1 by Gabrielle St. George. And I want to make sure and let our listeners know not only where they can find more about the book, but everything you've got going social media wise and the upcoming works as well.
Sure. So my website is my name, GabrielleSt.George.com. And the books, print copies and ebooks are available everywhere books are sold, Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Walmart and you name it. And they're out of stock in places, but hopefully, fingers crossed that supply chains pick up and everything's cool. But yeah, reach out and find me online. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, love to hear from readers.
All right. Well, Gabrielle, it has been great to visit with you. And hey, we made it all the way through. If anything goes technically wrong now, we could save it.
We could do it. So good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on. It's been wonderful. Thank you.